The Drakari fleet hovered in the cold blackness above the small blue planet. Their ships, massive and bristling with weapons, blocked out the stars behind them. Centuries of conquest had made the Drakari fearless, proud, and deadly. No civilization had ever survived a direct encounter with them. Yet here they were, staring at a planet the galaxy considered primitive, a world called Earth. Commander Varric, the leader of the Drakari strike force, narrowed his glowing eyes at the scanners. "This planet is weak," he growled. "Primitive species, weak weapons, low technology. We take them, and it will be another easy conquest. Prepare the landing teams." The other officers nodded. They were confident. No world had ever resisted the Drakari. Their weapons were unmatched. Their ships were faster and stronger than any fleet. Their soldiers were trained from birth for war. Humanity would be another name in the long list of conquered worlds. But the humans on the surface were not like the Drakari expected. In cities and towns across the planet, ordinary people went about their daily lives unaware of the dark shapes in the sky. Children laughed in schoolyards, shopkeepers swept their sidewalks, and farmers tended their crops. Humanity seemed fragile, yet fragility often hides strength. At the same time, in a quiet laboratory in the middle of a human city, Dr. Elena Marlowe adjusted her instruments. She had been tracking unusual readings from space for weeks, signals no human had ever seen before. They were intelligent, and they were coming closer. "Elena, what is it?" asked her assistant Tariq, peering over her shoulder. "It's massive," she whispered. "Too massive. Entire fleets. Approaching fast, I think. They're not friendly." Back above the planet, the first Drakari scouts descended, sleek ships black as night cutting through the atmosphere. When they landed, humans scrambled, but not in panic. Soldiers, firefighters, scientists, and even civilians grabbed whatever they could. Rifles, tools, drones. The Drakari expected humans to run. They expected fear. What they did not expect was organization. The first encounter happened in a small city near the coast. The Drakari soldiers emerged from their ships towering and armored, weapons humming with deadly energy. But humans didn't flee. They fought back with whatever they had. Military units deployed rapidly, while civilians formed barricades, improvised traps, and guided drones to scout the aliens' movements. Lieutenant Kieran Hayes led one of the human units. He had no idea how to face an enemy like this, yet he moved with courage. "Hold your ground," he shouted. "Use everything you have. Don't give them a chance to think we're weak." Explosions lit the city as humans unleashed homemade EMP devices, temporarily disabling the Drakari's armor and weapons. Small drones dropped nets and smoke bombs, forcing the aliens to retreat for the first time. The Drakari, trained to expect submission, were confused. "Impossible," hissed Commander Varric. "They are adapting. They are using their environment." The humans had turned everyday objects into weapons. They had turned city streets into traps. A narrow alley filled with overturned cars forced Drakari soldiers to slow down, making them easy targets for precise human shots. Buildings became shields. Sewers became secret passageways. Humanity's creativity was the battlefield. By nightfall, the Drakari were forced back to their ships. They had expected an easy victory, but humans were unpredictable, intelligent and relentless. Meanwhile, humanity's scientists worked feverishly. Dr. Marlowe and her team had hacked into alien communications. They studied the Drakari's energy weapons, armor designs, and ship systems. Within hours, humans were learning faster than anyone thought possible. "This is incredible," Dr. Marlowe said. "We can predict their movements. We can disable their weapons temporarily. If we fight smart, we can survive," Tariq nodded. "Not just survive. We can win. They are strong, but they are predictable. Their strength is in brute force. Ours is in thinking. We are not stronger than them yet, but we are clever." Cleverness became humanity's greatest weapon. In the days that followed, humans set traps across major cities. Communication lines were fortified. Civilians joined in. Farmers in the countryside sabotaged alien supply lines. Engineers modified old vehicles into battle machines. Every citizen became part of the resistance. The Drakari fleet, observing from space, grew frustrated. Entire squadrons were immobilized by simple yet effective human strategies. They had never faced an enemy like this. The galaxy's most feared warriors had met a species that could think faster, adapt quicker, and use every disadvantage as an advantage. One of the first major battles happened near a human spaceport. The Drakari attempted to destroy the small fleet of human ships, but humans had outsmarted them. They had placed decoy ships programmed with AI to mimic real maneuvers. The Drakari fired on the decoys, wasting precious energy, while real human ships attacked from hidden positions. Commander Varric was furious. "How can this be?" he growled. "No species should resist us like this. We are invincible!" But humans were not invincible either. They were tired, scared, and under-resourced. Yet their courage never faltered. Every loss was turned into a lesson. Every failure made them stronger. In one daring mission, a team of humans led by Kieran Hayes infiltrated a Drakari landing ship. Using nothing but tools, wires, and their wits, they sabotaged the ship's engines, forcing it to crash far from human settlements. The Drakari realized their enemies were not only resourceful on the ground, but dangerous even in space. By the end of the first week, the balance had shifted. What had started as a presumed easy conquest became a grueling struggle. The Drakari had underestimated humanity. They had assumed that strength and weapons alone were enough. Humanity had proved them wrong. The humans held councils, strategizing across cities and military bases. Farmers, scientists, engineers, and soldiers exchanged ideas constantly. Creativity became a new form of power. Using old satellites, they created a network that tracked enemy movements. Using drones and small ships, they struck where the Drakari least expected. Humans were everywhere and nowhere. And yet, even with victories, humans never underestimated the enemy. They knew the Drakari were powerful, cunning, and ruthless. Each battle was a lesson. Each day was survival. And each victory, no matter how small, was proof that humanity could not be defeated so easily. Dr. Marlowe stood on the roof of a damaged building, looking at the stars. "They are strong," she said. "They have weapons we have never seen. But we are not weak. We can fight. We can win." Kieran Hayes joined her, wiping sweat from his brow. "We already have won," he said quietly. "Not the war yet, but the most important battle. We have shown them we are not to be underestimated. They thought fear would stop us. They thought weapons alone would stop us. They were wrong. And humanity's triumph was not just physical, it was mental. The Drakari, the galaxy's deadliest warriors, had faced defeat not because of guns or bombs, but because of human intelligence, creativity, and courage. Over the next few days, humanity continued to push back. Supply lines were cut, alien patrols ambushed, and small victories accumulated into momentum. Civilians took part in intelligence gathering. Engineers modified vehicles, drones, and even city infrastructure to serve as weapons and traps. Every person mattered. Every small action counted. The Drakari, realizing their underestimation, attempted to regroup. They called reinforcements, planning to crush humanity once and for all. Yet the humans were ready. They had learned, adapted, and planned for every possible scenario. Every human act of creativity became a shield and a weapon. In one climactic skirmish, humans used a combination of decoys, AI simulations, and environmental traps to ambush a Drakari battalion. The aliens, despite their strength and experience, were outmaneuvered at every turn. Ships were destroyed without a single human casualty. Soldiers were trapped without harm. Humans proved that intelligence could overcome brute force, even in the deadliest of wars. By the end of Part 1, humanity had not only survived the first contact with the Drakari, but had also begun to turn the tide. The Drakari commanders were forced to rethink everything they knew about warfare, strategy, and strength. Humanity had brought something to the battlefield that no species had ever seen: creativity, courage, and unity. And the galaxy's deadliest warriors, once unbeatable, were learning a lesson they would never forget. Humans were not just another species. They were a force unlike any other.